Hi, this is Rainika Alapiad, an electrical engineering student from Section B of ESATU. Let me take you through the process of how I transformed a simple toy car into something exciting. Please keep on watching. The first thing that I did in this project is to try the most basic, the simplest program and circuit connection that I could find on the internet and understand the basics of the code and the simplicity of all those things. Learning how to program an LED using a push button was a huge head start. But actually, in reality, programming 5 different switches in one code is a whole different thing. But with the aid of internet, with the help of a friend, and the wisdom of people that I have asked, finally I was able to come up with the final code that actually works. Let's go over the code and discuss the important things that should be noted. Here are my 5 buttons with their respective pin numbers in the Arduino and their respective modes or functions. As for our LEDs, we have LED 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 with their respective pin numbers. So as you can notice, we have 4 LEDs, each with individual red LEDs, but in the case of LED 5 and 6, I have installed or I have come up with 2 parallel yellow LEDs for each pin. We have this button state 1 for the brake, we have the running mode, and the left signal, the right signal, and the hazard signal mode. You may notice that for the left, the right, and the hazard, we have almost the same variables. This is because all 3 of them have a blinking pattern or a blinking program that must be installed. So I have a 500 millisecond delay for each blinking, and also to differentiate each variable I have used letters such as for the left I have A, for the right I have B, and for the hazard I have letter C just to specify. And at the void setup we have the serial begin, which helps me make sure that my program works the way I wanted. And we have a pin mode that I have set for each variable, defining which of these are for the output and which of these are for the input. So obviously the LEDs must be the output and the button pins must be the inputs. The void loop basically contains the main program. So we have 5 different sets. We have one program for the left signal, another for the right, another for the running, another for the hazard, and also one for the brake. But the most important thing that I must highlight in this code is the serial println keyword, which, like what I've said with regards to the serial begin, this helps me communicate with the Arduino to check if I'm actually pressing this button, it will notify me that the Arduino is really functioning or executing the program. So I will show you how it works. So this is what my schematic diagram looks like. So each pin numbers have their respective LEDs connected to them and also push buttons. In series with the LEDs are 300 ohm resistors, and in series with the push buttons are 10 kilo ohm resistors. The positive side of the push button is connected back to the 5 volts, and all of the resistors are connected back to the ground. In this project, I was able to use connecting wires, breadboard, tack switches, LEDs, 310 kilo ohm resistors, Arduino Uno, soldering set, shrinking tubes, wire stripper, and of course the main event, the toy car. For the final construction of this project, of course, I first finalized my code and tried to execute them using the breadboard and connect the necessary connections such as the push button and the resistors and the LEDs until everything is all set and ready to be soldered. I used the soldering iron to put holes at the back end of the car so that I could insert the LEDs on them. So this is a footage of me trying to solder the LED to a wire, and I have already soldered the resistor to the other end. This time I have successfully inserted the LED into the hole and used an adhesive to put it in place. I also used a shrinking tube to keep the soldered pieces in place. After soldering all the LEDs, I tested them using a battery, a resistor, and the breadboard just to check that everything is still working fine. After making sure that the LEDs work, I installed them one by one into the holes and put them into place using a glue gun. And this is how it looks like from the outside. All of the wires are intact on each side. The morning comes and I decided to test them out again with the push buttons, and I was very happy that everything was okay. With all that soldering process, I was scared that something may happen with the connection, but luckily it didn't. At this point, I was thinking of making a platform so that I could hide all of the wires that are coming out from the car. I want it to look presentable and nice in front of the camera, so I have devised a very good plan. And this is what I came up with. I used the packaging of the car as a storage or a hideout for all of the wires, and the opening part of the package is where I put my control circuit or the switches, and they are all connected into the Arduino inside. Here is the functioning demonstration of the output. And that ends another video. Again, this is Rai and thank you for watching.